Oh wow, there's another controversy around Star Wars. I am so shocked. So Dave Filoni, we all know him, we all love him, well, most of us. He recently made some comments regarding Anakin Skywalker that, yes, caused a lot of arguing and disagreement. So I just wanted to give my solid, real, and unbiased take on the situation. Now this is just my opinion. Feel free to disagree and debate in the comments. I'm not saying my own view is the correct one, but rather simply is just my own certain point of view. So Filoni said this: Anakin Skywalker is the greatest Jedi to ever live. This sparked a lot of conversation, if you want to call it that, which is why I wanted to make this video, because this is a topic I've seen a lot of people debate on for a long time. For me, I don't necessarily agree with this statement, and here's why. To start, Anakin is one of my favorite characters in all of storytelling, but I wouldn't call him the greatest Jedi. I would argue that he wasn't even a good Jedi. Okay, now, before you leak my address and send federal agents to my home, let me explain. Anakin is the most powerful Force user to ever live, and he has the greatest story of a Jedi. I mean, he is the chosen one, and was literally born from the Force itself. Yet, he fell straight to darkness, and I think that's the biggest reason I find his character and story so intriguing. With his power and connection to the Force, surely he would have been almost perfect as a Jedi. But he was not. He was far from it. The Jedi is a conceptual idea. It does not necessarily mean a light side Force user. Or, for a better way of phrasing it, being a light side Force user does not inherently make one a Jedi. The Jedi is a religion. It is based on set values, morals, and even has a ruled hierarchy that you, as a Jedi, are needed to follow. They believe following these ideals is the only path to balance and success and peace in the galaxy. Anakin failed to follow these, but that's the whole point of his character's existence. In the end, he still brought back balance despite failing at being what a Jedi is. And I'm not necessarily saying the Jedi in the prequels are good or fully in the right, but the vast majority of their standards and ethics have been around to our knowledge since the beginning. You need to be on the light side to be a Jedi, but you don't need to be a Jedi to be a light side Force user. And this is where Anakin's story comes into play. If we look at his character and his actions and motivations, he genuinely fails at the Jedi Code multiple times. Just going off the movies and George Lucas himself, part of his writing was to show how a young, innocent boy can turn into something as evil as Darth Vader. But what happens when this person is a prophet of the light side and falls so heavily to the dark side? Does this make him a good Jedi? I don't believe so. Some I've seen argue that Dave was talking about before his fall to the dark. But I have to ask myself, when would this be? When was Anakin Skywalker a quote-unquote proper Jedi? Even in Attack of the Clones, he easily let his hatred get the best of him, and he took out an entire family of Tusken Raiders, again falling to the dark side. We can then go years after to Revenge of the Sith, where, yes, he has matured, but, as we know, fell further to the dark side from manipulation and a lie, and did arguably the darkest deed. If Anakin was the greatest Jedi, in my opinion, he would not be so easily swayed by his emotions. He would have been able to connect with Qui-Gon when he reached out to him in Attack of the Clones.
Anakin! Anakin!
Plenty of Jedi Masters predicted this as an issue with him, which is why, in their mind, a Jedi needs to start their training at a very early stage in life. If Anakin was the greatest Jedi, he would have understood why the Council was not willing to make him a Master, at least not yet, but Anakin had no patience. He would have seen through the explicit lies Palpatine fed him, and keeping away from his own desperation would have not interrupted the confrontation of Palpatine and the Jedi. The point of his story is not to say Anakin was wrong about everything, but rather to give reason and understanding and insight, and to almost relate to him. Anakin is the most powerful Force user who was born by a prophecy, but the emotions can sometimes overtake what we, deep down, know to be true. And that's the message of his story and character arc. Despite all of these flaws, he still was able to, in the end, save his son and bring balance to the Force. And this is why I personally disagree with Filoni's statements. Anakin has the greatest story of the Jedi, but he was not the greatest Jedi to ever live. So the question remains, who is the greatest Jedi? For me, just at the top of my head, I pick Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm sure there are many others we could debate about, but Qui-Gon encapsulates the fulfillment of the Jedi religion in every way. So guys, these are just kind of my arguments and reasonings for why I personally disagree with Dave Filoni's statements. I know many will disagree with me, and I'm very happy to discuss and sort of debate that in the comments section. Again, I'm not saying I am necessarily right, I'm just saying this is kind of how I personally view it. Anakin Skywalker is easily one of my favorite characters of all time. And so me saying he's not necessarily a good or great Jedi, that's not a diss on him. That's me giving reason as to why his character has so much depth. If you have a character who's just perfect, again, you know, I point out to Qui-Gon Jinn, I think he was almost the closest thing you could get to a perfect Jedi. He wouldn't work as a lead character in a trilogy or saga. It just wouldn't work. You need depth, you need failures, you need flaws, and that's why I love Anakin so much. So guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about my thoughts down below? Do you think I'm a complete idiot for this, or do you actually kind of agree? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and hopefully see you all in the next one.